Good morning, Super Readers! Thank you for joining us in our Valley PBS classroom. I'm Mrs. Nix.
I'm Mrs. Hammock.
And I'm Mrs. O'Leary.
This is a place for us to learn, practice, and grow our brains to become even stronger readers, writers, and thinkers. So let's get started by warming up our brains with some
Ear training
called Daily Phonemic Awareness. Okay, so today for our Daily Phonemic Awareness, we're going to take some words and we're going to segment them into their sounds. So thank you, Mrs. Hammock. I love when you bring this over here because it's a visual helper, and you could do this with anything. If you have little scraps of paper or little toys, little toy cars, anything like that, where even beans or Legos, and you just lay them out so that you can see the sounds. You're not really looking at letters yet, right?
True.
Okay, so we're going to train our ears today. Let's start with an easy one. How about the word boy?
Okay.
Boy. So can we hear all of the different phonemes, all the different sounds? B, oi, b, oi, boy. Just two sounds, right?
Just two sounds.
Two phonemes. Great.
One of them our focus sound.
That's right. Okay, how about the word join? Join.
Okay.
What sounds do we hear? J, oi, n. Three sounds. Join.
Join.
Good job. All right. How about toy? Toy. How many sounds do you hear? T, oi.
Boy.
Toy. Just two sounds. Okay. And how about spoil? Spoil. Now this one's
Okay.
got a lot of sounds.
Yep.
Break them apart. Say it really slowly. Spoil. Oil. Oh. Ooh, I almost didn't give myself enough room there. There we go. Oil. So there's
Nice.
4 sounds. Absolutely. So that's a great one and a great challenge to make sure that you're hearing all of the sounds, because eventually you take them to letters and you're able to write. And
That's
so
right.
that's a great step to know. All right, speaking of steps.
We better
Lot
get
of
some.
steps in dancing. I think we need to do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Give yourself some
ready.
wiggle room.
Whoop. Lost my
Don't fall.
balance.
Excellent.
So much
Ooh,
fun.
I almost couldn't keep up. It must be Friday.
It must be.
Friday.
That's true.
Okay, great.
Right.
Well, let's turn and take those sounds to letters now with phonics.
Okay.
All right,
See you in a bit.
later. All right, so on Friday, our sound, our focus sound, as you'll probably know if you've tuned in every day, is oi. And we're using our sound spelling card for the boy card, oi. And that sound has 2 spellings. It has O-I as one of them, and O-Y at the end of a word or a syllable. So let's practice blending. And hey, friends, are you there?
Hello!
Yay!
Happy Friday!
Yay!
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, happy Friday to you. All right, our last day where we're going to really focus on that oi sound. You want to blend some words?
Yes,
With oi
yes.
in it?
Yes, I
Okay.
think we're getting really good.
All right, I think so too. Okay, so look up here, and this is our first word that we're going to try to blend together. So we'll start at the first sound, which is Yeah, I can hardly hear it. Oil. Foil. Do it again.
Foil.
Foil. Very good. Like that silvery stuff that sometimes our parents wrap things up with after if we haven't eaten everything, we put it in some foil.
Yeah.
Good job. Let's move on to our next word.
Ooh.
Beginning sound.
Oi.
Again.
Koi.
Look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this word during the week and that we could get mixed up and sometimes want to spell it with the K. But we are remembering that we're spelling it with a C-O-Y.
Yeah, that's good.
Good, very good. Okay, let's build a word now, my favorite part. And you follow along with us out there. How about the word boil? Boil.
Oil.
What do you think that starts with?
I think it's with a B.
You think it's with a B?
And
I agree.
And it's going to have an O-I because that's in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle.
And then an L.
And then an O.
Yeah. Even though
Boil.
it says
Boil.
boy, and that boy, if we were writing boy, it would be with O-Y.
That's right.
But because it has a ooh at the end, it's a O-Y.
It's
That's
an
tricky.
O-I. It's tricky, but yeah, the exact way that you explained it, Rita, makes it very kind of simple in my mind. It's in the middle. I'm not going to use that O-I.
Well, it's in the middle of a syllable too. Because
Yep.
boil
Boil.
Boil.
is
Boil.
just one.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, just
Just
has
one.
one syllable. And so that's another way to remember.
Yep, that's true.
Very good. Well, let's do another one then. See what we might find with another word. How about spoil? Spoil.
Oil.
What you think?
Oh, okay, it starts with an S.
I think so.
Don't forget the P.
Yep, that's right, because
Oh, you
it
wanna
has a
sound that out?
blend in the front. A sp.
Very good. Where's my P? There it is. Okay, then what? Oil.
Oh, then it's the O-I.
It's the
And
O-I.
O.
You got it. You have got it.
Did you see? Did you see that?
I did.
You
Did
guys
she
are
do that on
getting
purpose?
so smart.
I think she did too.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Boil, spoil, they both say oil.
Very good. Excellent. And I hope you did that at home too. Great job.
Oh, thank you, Mrs.
Thank
O'Leary.
you.
It was so much fun with you
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, I was so glad to see you again.
Thank you. I have loved being here and I'll miss you, but I'll tune in next week and I'll see you and Mrs. Vang back along with Mrs. Nix and Mrs. Hammock.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good.
Thanks for your help today.
See you
You're
later.
welcome. Bye.
All right, bye. They're such wonderful friends. I just love them. I bet you do too. So let's read our sentence and then we can move on to some high frequency words. So here we go. All together now. I'll point to the words and you read with me. Hoo-hoo, like this one. Joy had a choice to broil or bake dinner. Did you read that with me? If you did, you are a super reader. Okay, so let's turn our attention to Mrs. Hammock, who's going to help us with high frequency words.
That's right. Here we are on Friday, and we're finally going to focus on that last word. But let's review all of the words we've had so far, okay? All right, here we go. We had build, toward, money, new, fall, and today, above. Let's take a look at that word above. A-B-O-V-E, above. This is kind of a directional word, right? Above something. We use that to describe a location. So let's take a look at our sentence and see if that kind of helps us too. The bee buzzed above her head. That means it was up here, right? It wasn't next to her or down here. It was above her head. So when something is above, we have to look up to see it. So that is one of the ways that you can use that in a sentence. Now, today we're going to do a word sort. Now, you can do that in a lot of different ways. You can sort words by syllables or by focus sounds or different things. But for our high frequency words today, I wanted to focus in on how many letters they have. Now remember, how many letters they have is not necessarily how many sounds they have. So we're going to just keep going and look at our words, and let's take a look. I'll pick some here. Let's take a look at this word build. Let's see how many letters it has. 3, 4, 5, or 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put that word build right under there. And then I have this word that we just did, above. Do you see how many letters it has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to go here. Do you see any of our words that might have 4 letters? Oh, yes. Very nice. Good job. Fall. And do we have any that have 6? Yes, we do. Look at that. T-O-W-A-R-D. Very nice. So we can sort them by the number of letters that they have. And we can keep going to finish it all up with new has 4 letters and money has 5. We don't have any 3-letter words this time, but that's okay. When we sort things, it helps us to really tune in and focus on some of the special details about those words. And that might help you to lock that into your brain for later when you're reading and you don't have to sound out a word because it's a high frequency word. All right, today you're going to hear a really interesting story. It's called, What is a Yurt? Do you know what a yurt is? Well, you better listen to this story and find out. I'll see you in a few minutes.
What is a Yurt by Lily Ryan. Chapter 1. Who lives in a yurt? Do you go camping? Many people enjoy it. First, they set up a tent. During the day, campers fish, hike, and eat. At night, they fall asleep under the stars. At the end of a camping trip, people take their tent down, they pack up their car, and drive home. Tents come in many shapes and sizes. A yurt is like a tent, but a yurt is stronger. Long ago, some people lived in yurts. These people were called nomads. Nomads knew how to build yurts and take them apart quickly. Nomads moved a lot. They carried their yurts with them. This camel carries a yurt that has been taken apart. Early yurts were made of mats from sheep's wool. The nomads added mats in the winter to make the yurt warm. They took mats away in the summer. This made the yurt cooler. Yurt wool was felted, so it was thick and sturdy. Chapter 2. How are yurts built? A yurt begins with a wooden frame. It is always round like a circle. The frame joins together for a perfect fit. Builders put the roof frame above the circle. This family is busy putting their yurt together. The builders place canvas around the sides of the frame, and they cover one section at a time. Next, canvas is placed above the frame. It will be the yurt's roof. It can take several people to put together some yurts. Chapter 3. Do people build yurts today? Yurts are still used in Asia as shelter. They are warm in winter and cool in summer. These yurts are easy to take apart and move. They can balance on a camel's back. The camel takes the yurt to the next place. This is a yurt village in Asia. Some people live in a yurt all year. Yurts can be a lot like other kinds of homes. Some people spend their vacations in a yurt instead of a hotel room. People can also build their own yurt. They can buy a yurt kit. A kit doesn't cost too much money. Would you like to live?
Did you enjoy listening about and finding and learning about what a yurt is? It's kind of a funny word, right? You could say it, yurt. Okay, so one of the things or skills that we were practicing that's really helpful is when we talk about a cause and effect relationship. So oftentimes something will happen because of something else. So like if my clothes were wet, that would be the effect. The cause might be because it's raining outside or I fell in a puddle. So we're going to do a little bit of practice with that today because it's important that we're able to identify the causes of some effects, or even if we know the cause, we need to be able to go, well, what does it cause? So sometimes, I did this the other day, sometimes I like to put a little cheater up there and say, because of this, this happened. So this is what happened. Now, for right now, we're going to do it a little bit backwards, and we're going to start with the effect or the what. So they can build and take them apart quickly. So when a yurt can be built and taken apart very quickly, why might that be? Why might that be? Why were they able to take them apart quickly? Ooh, because they lived in them and they were doing it often. When you live in something and you're doing it all the time, you become very good at it, right? So because they lived in their yurts, they were able to take them apart and put them back up very quickly. Now, what about this one? So because the mats were taken away in the summer, what happened? What happened? Do you remember? Why were they taking the mats out? Ooh, that's right, because it cooled the yurt down. Remember, those floor mats kept the yurts really warm and insulated. And in the summertime, when things get really hot, they're going to want to take those away and make it a lot cooler. How about this one? Canvas are put around the sides of the yurt frame. Remember, that's one of the last steps that they would do. And so what effect would that have on their yurt? Well, that would actually protect the yurt from wet weather or windy weather, anything that was happening. So because they had their sides put up on their yurts, they were protected from the weather. Do you see how that goes? So it's important for us to think about what was the cause and then what happened, the effect. Okay, so I have a couple of different questions that are down here. So it says, look at page 11, and why do people buy yurt kits today? Now on page 11, it just says people can also build their own yurt. They can buy a yurt kit, and a kit doesn't cost too much money. So why do you think people might buy them? I think you're right too, because it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's something that they can afford to quickly put up and easily take down and have a lot of fun with. Okay, so what is a yurt? Is it fiction or nonfiction? And then how can you tell? Okay, well, we know that it's nonfiction, and nonfiction means what? That it's real. So what are some things that we saw or read in the story that gave us some clues to know that it was real? Well, when we looked right here, we could see that it gives you facts and information about the topic. And then what about the pictures? That's right, they're photographs. So photographs are things that are real. They're not drawings that are, done that someone couldn't create. These are actually photographs. So these are some clues that we can use to know that our text is nonfiction. Excellent job. Okay, today I want us to take it over and do some writing about a yurt. And so we're going to do a little bit of retelling today. And it says, how are yurts built? How are yurts built? Now you just heard all of those steps. And again, it's important to know and to think about that things are done in a specific order. So when we think about our yurts, could we start by putting the roof on? Could that be the first step? Probably not, because what would it sit on? Okay, so I started with an introductory sentence. There are many steps to follow when building a yurt. But you know what? I can't remember all of the steps. Maybe we should call some friends. So come on, friends. Let's see if you guys can help me.
Well, howdy.
Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Rita.
Howdy.
Hi. So my awesome readers and I were just talking about how to build a yurt. And we read a whole text about it, and it talked about all the different steps. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did. That was fun.
We did hear it. We did. And my name is Rhonda Reed. So
true.
I actually reread it.
Oh, I'm so proud
so
of you.
good.
That's a great strategy, too. So, and Rhonda, I would think that this would be really important, especially as the rereader of the group, to figure out what are all the steps, because I was just telling our amazing readers that, you know, we couldn't start with the roof because that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
No, not at all.
What would we do, Rhonda? Help me out.
Well, first, you must build a round wooden frame. That's what you have to do first. That's what the book said.
That's right. So you would put up that big round frame and put that
Yes, you would.
first. And I really like how you use the word first, because it does tell a reader that that's the first step, right?
It tells us in order.
In order. And order is important. I mean, we wouldn't want to put our shoes on and then our socks, right?
No.
That would be pretty silly.
That'd be a mistake.
It would be a mistake. Okay, so after we built the wooden frame, what would be our next step if we were building a yurt?
Well, I could say second, but instead I used the word next.
Okay.
Because next, the roof frame is added to the circle.
Okay, so that was the piece that I was missing. So I knew that the roof was there. So next, the roof frame is added above the circle. So we have to have that wooden round frame first around the sides. And next, the roof frame is added to the top. And then what happens? What was next after that?
Last, the canvas is added to the sides of the frame, but they have to do it like one little section at a time.
That's right. So it is kind of a slow process here, but they do add the canvas. So once they get the frames up, then they added the sides of the frame, or the canvas, one section at a time. Great job. Do we have a concluding sentence?
Well, what sure do. I thought of one, and I do like to keep things simple.
Okay.
So I just said, this is how a yurt is built.
That's it.
That's a great concluding sentence, and that is exactly what it is. Wonderful job. And those are all of the steps that we needed to take in order for our yurt to be built. I would love to build a yurt, wouldn't you guys?
Oh, yeah, I want to.
Yes, sugar, I would.
Well, let's kick it over and see one of our awesome and amazing folks that are going to share a book with you. We'll see you in a second.
Hi.
Good morning. I'm Felicia. I just read this book, Geraldine, by Elizabeth Lilly. It's about a giraffe with a long neck, like me. She's new at school and has trouble making friends. But Geraldine meets Cassie, a girl that's just like her, a little different. Read to find out what happens with these two friends. You'll like it. Bye, Felicia.
That was amazing. Oh my golly. And I just love seeing our new little friend Felicia. So
I know.
that was so
I do too.
great.
So
Super.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's a super reader.
She is. Hey, but she's an ostrich, right?
She is an ostrich.
Yeah.
So, did you hear about the race between the giraffe and the ostrich?
A giraffe and an ostrich.
It was neck and neck.
Oh, ba-dum.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I like that one.
Hey, you know what? It's Friday, so thank you so much for joining us all week. We can't wait to see you next week here at Valley PBS. Have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
But goodbye.
Ladies, that
and
was so
bye,
much fun.
Felicia.
Oh, bye, Felicia. So much fun.